What if Jim Lee returned to Marvel Comics? Could it happen? Will it happen? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to another JMS Talks. I'm your host, a very talented, very sexy, very distinguished, always narcissistic, but never vain, staunch defender of Rob Liefeld, and Gina Carano, and a lover of all things 90s. Joseph Michael Sontag, or Joem Sontag if you prefer, or as the Pope likes to call me, JMS. Welcome back. And today, we are talking about Jim Lee. And would he return to Marvel Comics? Now, this is something that's been on my mind lately. Ever since we had a conversation over on the Pontificators last Wednesday. And by the way, the Pontificators on Art Thibert's channel. Go sub to his channel. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Check that out. It does the Pontificators every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. And amongst other things, does art, all that kind of stuff. Great channel. Check it out. Support it. But what I wanted to talk about, we were talking about the possibility of Jim Lee being either fired or leaving DC Comics. Now, I don't think he'd be fired. I don't think DC Comics would do that. But I could see Jim Lee leaving if Marvel Comics put a deal on the table. Now, let's fantasize for a second. Let's just say that happens. Could you imagine the waves that would be caused if tomorrow they were to announce that Jim Lee was leaving DC Comics to return to Marvel? Now think about this for a second. It's been over 30 years since Jim Lee worked for Marvel Comics. Now, I know that there was Heroes Reborn and there was the Wildcats X-Men crossover. But let's just take that and set it aside for a second. Because that was more freelance work that he did while he was at Wildstorm Image, right? Let's say the last time he worked for Marvel under the Marvel banner was over 30 years ago, 1991. So to have him come back and return to the X-Men office, to rejuvenate that, to take those characters and to save it from the Jonathan Hickman run, where everyone's on an island frolicking with flowers and plants, and everyone's swingers now, return them to the classic heroes that we know them to be. Return them to the Chris Claremont days of storytelling, would be huge. And I'm talking about a complete reboot. Screw it. Start over at number one with everything. Give him X-Men, give him Wolverine, X-Force, and let's say do X-Factor 2. So we'll give him four titles and say, you have control over all of this. This is your department. Because I can't imagine them bringing Jim Lee over and saying, hey, you're going to be editor-in-chief, because we all know that was Jim Lee's dream at one point, was to be editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. I don't see him doing that because right now, Spider-Man and Venom, some of the other titles, they're doing fine. Whether we like them or not, the cinematic universes are going big. Those titles are doing all right. Popularity's there. But I think there is room for X-Men to be overhauled, and have someone like Jim Lee come in who knows the characters, who spent time cutting his teeth on these characters. This is what made him a star, right? He did the Punisher, War Journal, he did Alpha Flight, but X-Men, when he hit that title, that made him a star. When he was on Uncanny X-Men, that long run he did on Uncanny, and then the run he did on X-Men in the 90s, that made Jim Lee a star. So put him back, return him there, put him in that office and say, we want you to do an epic run. Now, you can take all the titles, you can cross them over, you do this big old summer event, blah, blah, blah. And most people would say, like, all right, Jim Lee's coming back, we're going to put him on X-Men, right? Wrong. I would put him on Wolverine. Wolverine is by far the most popular character in the X-Men universe, especially after the X-Men movies by Fox and Hugh Jackman portraying him the way he did. Everybody loves that character, whether you know the books or you know the movie. Like, that's the number one character. We've seen Jim Lee on X-Men, as I've just said, Uncanny X-Men and X-Men. We've seen him do that before. Would it be cool to see him return to that? Sure. But I would put him on something brand new. I'd say, I want you on Wolverine. And I would want you to do exactly what you did with Hush. And I would bring him on, and it would be a total flex. And we're talking about, I want to see all of Wolverine's rogue gallery. And we're talking about Sabretooth, Omega Red, Lady Deathstrike, Cyber, Silver Samurai, you go on and on. Bring them all in. Put them all in there for a reason. Find a story that fits and put them all in there. And then I want guest stars. I want, besides other X-Men, bring in the Incredible Hulk. Bring in Ghost Rider. Just bring him in. Bring him in. Make this epic story. Fan service story. And then make it all work within this universe. Like I said before, if you don't want to get rid of the current continuity of X-Men, you can make this into a pocket universe. It could be this one kind of year-long story thing. Whatever. Marvel's done before, they could do it again. But I would definitely do this. I would not waste this opportunity. I'd be like, here you go. Come in, do this. Hell, you saw what he did with Hush. You saw when he came and he flexed on Hush, and they did that. He drew every DC character, the villains, the heroes, everybody. This was his moment. They built it up for his moment. They did it specifically for that. Do the same thing at Marvel, and watch them crush DC in the sales. Because Jim Lee still got the name. He still got the star power. He will put butts in seats. All right, people will buy tickets, so to speak. They're going to spend money if he came back and did full-time art duties. And I'm not talking about half issues and then have a fill-in artist. No, I'm talking about full issues, 12 issues. Give me a year-long run on Wolverine. I mean, okay, you put him on X-Men 2, whatever you want to put him on, but just do a year-long run, a long run, and let him flex again. Let him flex again. Let him show you everybody that he's still the man. Because honestly, I'm not trying to denigrate Jim Lee at all. The dude is a legend and will always be a legend. But lately, his art's gotten kind of boring. He's just pumping stuff out on deadline. He's putting loose stuff out there. Scott Williams is coming in, tightening it up, making it pretty, and then they send it off to print. That's what they do. Jim Lee's got a very cushy job over there. He's just sitting back counting money. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. His legacy is securely there. It's not going anywhere. However, you want to make one last run at it. You want to do the magnum opus. What would be better than returning to Marvel Comics, the place that made you a star, the place where you cut your teeth, the place that birthed that talent, and return him to the X-Men universe and let him do this big, massive thing, and send him out on it. Because, I mean, he's his mid-50s, late 50s? He's not going to be doing this forever. I don't even know how much of a passion he has for doing sequential work anymore. So this could be the last thing you see him do. And man, what a way to go out than to return to Marvel and to lift up the X-Men back to the status that they should be. That's what I'm talking about. That would be awesome. That would put butts in seats. That would rock the comic book world. And I'm talking about, keep the political bullshit out of it. Don't do any woke stuff. Just return the characters to what it should be, the Chris Claremont kind of storytelling, bring the classic characters back. Update them for today. You can redesign them if you want, looks and all that kind of stuff, but stick with that aspect. Like when X-Men Legends came out, when Brett Booth came on, they did like the stories from the 90s was great. It gave a feel to it, a flavor that had been missing for a while. Go back to that. Fan service for once, Marvel, is what I'm saying. Go get Jim Lee, do fan service. You're going to bring all the old fans back. You're going to bring the new fans in. It's going to be a massive thing. I'm telling you. If you don't mess it up, it could be absolutely massive. So that's what I'm saying. Could it happen? Will it happen? I think there's a good likelihood that it will happen. I think maybe a year from now or 2 years from now, we could look at this as a possibility. Because you look at where DC is now, people are getting fired, people are leaving en masse. It's just a matter of time. And if Jim Lee is not ready to hang it up and he wants to do one more major flex, this would be the thing to do. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the bell for notification, share it on social media, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.